nerve-wracking. Hello world. So hi, my name is Laurence and welcome to my channel. So I thought as the very first video on this channel I would make the best book I have read in 2020. I thought it would be the perfect video. We are December 30th right now, so it's the perfect time to do this video. Currently I am in the middle of Warstorm. Oh, there's a hair. I am halfway through. This is not very good, guys. I want to finish the series because this is the very last book in the series. I just want to know what's going on, which is why I'm listening to it on audio, and I'm just kind of going through just to see what happens. But I don't love this book. But yeah, I might finish this before the end of the year. But yeah, this is the book that I'm currently on, but I don't think I'm going to read anything else before the end of the year, since we are already like the 30th of December. So yeah, so I have 7 books I want to talk to you about today, and I have one honorable mention. I didn't want to count this as a book, but this, guys, oh my god, this is the Tea Dragon Society. This was the cutest thing I've read in a long time. It is a kid's book, so which is why I didn't really want to like count it as a best book I have read in 2020. It's a kid's graphic novel, basically. It's like 70 pages, I think. Yeah, like 60 pages. So it is the shortest book, but oh my god, guys, this is so cute. Like, look at the art style. Oh my god. So yeah, this was the cutest thing. I have read the Tea Dragon Festival. I didn't like it as much as this one, but this was a really, really cute story. It's about this society who has like tea dragons. Look, oh my god. Yeah, this was really, really cute. And I think the third one is coming out this year, so I'm actually really excited. I bought the second one on my Kindle because I didn't want to pay, because these are kind of expensive for what they are. But this has my heart. It is so cute, and I kind of want to read more Katie O'Neill graphic novels. It was really, really cute. Start with the actual books that I've read. I'm just gonna go in order of when I read them, and this is how long this year has been. I could have sworn some of these books I've read like last year or even like before that. This is a little bit crazy, but yeah, like the 2 first books, I feel like I've read them like years and years ago, but it was the beginning of the year. The very first one I want to talk to you guys about is the Unhoneymore by Christina Lauren. This is the very first Christina Lauren books I have ever read, and I have since read quite a few of their books, and this is my favorite one. This was so cute, guys. It was amazing. This is about a girl and a guy who ends up on a honeymoon, and they have to pretend that they're dating because they don't want to get kicked out of the honeymoon. And so it's basically a romance book with fake dating trope, kind of enemies to lover too. This was so cute. I loved it. And they were, where were they? I don't remember where they were, but they were like on a tropical honeymoon. And when I read this, I was supposed to go to Mexico with my boyfriend, and it got me so much in the mood. My trip ended up getting canceled because of pandemic stories. But still, when I read this, I loved this book. It was so good. I highly recommend. The next book I want to talk to you guys about is The Seventh Husband of Evelyn Hugo. Do I need to talk about this book more than it's already been talked about? Like I said, I thought I had read this book like years ago, but it's only been this year, like in January, I think I read this book. This is such an amazing book. This book made me cry. It was just so good. I've listened to the audiobook and have read this book, and both of these medium were great. I loved the audiobook, but I also loved reading the physical book as well. This is kind of a historical fiction mixed with like, you know, kind of a romance book too, but not really. It's so, I don't know what genre it is, but it was so good. It was so well written. Once again, I have since read quite a few books by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and this is so far my favorite one that I have read. So yeah, I really love this book. I don't want to talk too much about it because it's all over YouTube. So, and this book is pretty old, so yeah, but it was really good and I really liked it. So next book I want to talk to you guys about is Stephen King. This is a monstrous of a book, but this was so good, guys. I've read this book in 3 days. This is how much I got into it. The first maybe like 50 to 100 pages were kind of slow to get into, but once I reached a point, I just couldn't put it down. It was so good. This is the very first Stephen King books I have read. I have since read Pet Sematary, which I really enjoyed too, but this is my favorite one from Stephen King. I've only read 2 books, but you know, whatever. But yeah, this is kind of a historical fiction book with science fiction, because basically he goes back in time to try to save JFK. It's kind of there's a romance too in this book, which is really cute and really sad, and it's a historical fiction. My dad read it because I gave it to, I told my dad to read it. He thought it was too long, which I agree. It's like 800 pages, so it's a long book. I think the middle could have been a little bit shorter, but for me, I just love this book. Like I said, I whizzed through this book so fast. It was so good. Highly recommend this book. So the next book I have read, which I was super excited because once again, I feel like it's the year the first. But once again, it was my very first Riley Sager's book, and I have read Home Before Dark. Riley Sager has been quite popular on YouTube. Well, kind of polarizing, I think. Well, not really polarizing, but I've heard mixed review on him, but mostly positive. So I really wanted to try his book, so I started with Home Before Dark, and I have to say I love this book. First of all, it was my first Riley Sager's book, and second, it's not a horror book, but it has some horror feels to this book, and it was my first book with that kind of feels, I would say, if that makes any sense. But yeah, basically, I mean, once again, everybody knows about this book. Like this book, it has a really good trope that I love, which is a book in the book, which don't see that often in books. I mean, you see a lot of authors in books and like literary people in books, I guess, but you don't really see books into books. Like you actually get chapters of another book in this book, which is another fiction book, but still. I really like this book. I really want to try more Riley Sager's book from now on. I mean, I know he has like 3 other books, so I might get those. And yeah, I really like this book. It was really good. It was really good. Okay, so the next book I want to talk about, which is the first YA, I think. Yeah. The next book I want to talk to you guys about is Shadow and Bones by Leigh Bardugo. I was so surprised that I liked this book as much as I loved this book. I had read Night House, which is like just there. I did not like it, guys. It was such a boring book. Nothing happened in Night House. Such a forgettable book for me. I'm thinking about unhauling this book. It's just, I didn't like it. But since this is coming out as a Netflix series, I really wanted to read this. I've never read this when it first came out and when it first got popular here on BookTube and everywhere. I never really read it. I never really, got interested in it. And so one day, I think I was on my like iPad and I read the first chapter and I was like, oh my god, this sounds really good. And so I bought it on Amazon like the next day, and then I've read it so quickly, and it was so good. Like, why didn't no one tell me it was this good? I think this series was getting a little bit of backlash, which is why I didn't really want to read to it, and I wasn't sure I was gonna like it because it's a YA. I mean, I love YA, but I feel like this has like some typical problem that YA has, which I see them, but I still love this book, and I'm so excited for the TV show. And I read the second book, and I need to read the third book, but I do have them on my bookshelf. So sorry for the glare. So I'm really excited about this book. This book was really good. So the next book I want to talk to you guys about is Birthday Girl. There's a glare, so I don't want to. But yeah, by Penelope Douglas. This is a new adult book. I used to be really into new adult. I used to read a ton of new adult books, and then I kind of got over them. But this one was really, really good. I really liked it. It was kind of different. It has a forbidden romance, which you guys might think is weird because it is an older guy with a pretty young girl. Like, for me, it was at the limit. He's like 38, I think. Is that it? Like 30, like almost 40, I think. And she's 19 years old, I think. God, I think she was 19 or 20 years old. Basically, he's, you know, he's not old, but older than her. So if you guys think you won't like this kind of books and like that kind of romance, I mean, I wouldn't recommend it. But I loved it. I loved both of the characters. I've read this during the summer, so I don't really remember too much about it. But yeah, I really like that book. It was different. It was different than any of the books that I read this year. So, which is why I think I liked it. So, yeah, I mean, I don't have too much to say about it because I don't remember too much about it, which is probably not a good sign, but I swear to you guys, when I was reading it, I was really, really liking it. So the very last book that I want to talk to you guys about, it's once again a very popular book on here on YouTube, so I won't talk too much about it, but it is, yes, I have read The Invisible Life of Adelaide. Oh my god, this book was so good. This is a slower paced book. I did read it as an audiobook for most of the book. I was listening to the book while I was reading it, which is one of my favorite ways to read books. I've done this since I was a kid. When I was a kid, I had these like giant like fairy tale books pop in like the CD, and that's how I would like listen to the story while I was reading it. So it's one of my favorite ways to read books. I love doing that, and this is what I did with The Invisible Life of Adelaide, which I really liked that I did this because this is a slower paced book, so I don't know if I would have enjoyed it as much if I had actually, like, I don't know, I'm not sure. Because in the middle, it's starting to get a little bit slow for me. It could have been a little bit short. I mean, it's not a big book. It's only like 400 pages, but still. This has been tabbed so much. Like, I don't actually annotate my books, but I do use tabs just to like some places that are like make me laugh or make me cry or stuff like this. So oh my god, this book made me cry so much at the end. My boyfriend actually came into my room to make sure I was okay because I was sobbing so much. He was like, he needed to make sure I was okay. This is how much I love this book. This is probably the favorite book I have read this year. This with Evelyn Hugo, I think. This has been getting a lot of hype lately, so I'm not gonna talk too much about it, but basically it's about a girl who makes a deal with the devil, that she gets to live forever, but no one can remember her. Basically that's it. It's a love story, it's fantasy, it's historical fiction, it's a mix of things, it's V. Schwab. I mean, come on guys, this is good. It's a really good book. Yeah guys, that's pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please subscribe and leave a comments below telling me what was your favorite books of 2020, so maybe I can add them to my TBR. And yeah, we'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!